Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving into one of my absolute favorite Korean grammar patterns. I mean it. It's this magical little phrase that just perfectly captures those moments in life that kind of just happen. So let's get right into it. You totally know this feeling, right? You pull out your phone thinking, okay, just one video. And the next thing you know, you've gone down this deep, deep rabbit hole. You look at the clock and you're just like, whoa, what just happened? Where did the last 2 hours go? Well, guess what? The Korean language has this beautiful, incredibly precise way to talk about that exact experience. You know, that feeling of an unplanned, surprising result that just sneaks right up on you. And here it is. This is the phrase that just makes it all click. 살다 보니 별일 다 있네. Roughly, it translates to something like, as I just kept on living, I realized, wow, all sorts of strange and surprising things happen. It perfectly gets that feeling of looking back and just being amazed at where life has taken you. Okay, so let's break down what I like to call this universal oops moment. We're going to really define the grammar pattern that makes this whole feeling possible. So the magic formula here is a verb stem plus daboni. That's daboni. You use it when you've been doing something, maybe without even really thinking about it, and then, bam, you suddenly discover a result. The key, and this is super important, is that the outcome is almost always unintended or at least a little bit surprising. All right, now let's get into the anatomy of the phrase. We're going to deconstruct the magic, and I promise, once you see how it's built, it makes so much more sense. So check this out. You can really see how all the pieces fit together. First, we start with sire, which is the stem from the verb to live. Then we attach our key phrase, daboni, which sets up the ongoing process, as I kept on living. And then you state the surprising realization, 별일 다 있네, which means all sorts of strange things exist. It's a perfect story of cause and surprising effect. And building your own sentences with this, it's actually so easy. Seriously, all you do is take any verb, let's say 먹다, to eat. You drop the da at the end to get the stem, which is 먹. Then you just attach da boni, and that's it. You've got 먹다 보니, as I kept eating. See? You're already telling the first part of the story. Okay, this next part is really important. Let's talk about the vibe this phrase creates. This is more than just a grammar rule. It's all about conveying this specific feeling, this nuance that whatever happened, well, it wasn't exactly planned. And this example is just perfect. 먹다 보니 다 먹었어. You weren't planning on eating the entire bag of chips, right? You just had one and then another. And as a result of that mindless, continuous eating, you suddenly look down and realize, oops, it's all gone. Okay, now for the really fun part. Let's look at a bunch of real-world examples to see just how flexible and useful this pattern is in pretty much any everyday conversation. Here is an absolute classic. You're just taking a walk, maybe your mind is somewhere else, you're not paying any attention to where you're going, and you kind of snap out of it, look around, and think, how did I end up here? That's 걷다 보니 여기까지 왔어. Oh man, this one is just so relatable. You're having an amazing conversation with a friend, you've completely lost track of time, and then you happen to glance outside and realize it's totally dark. 이야기하다 보니 밤이 되었어. The act of talking led to the surprising result of it becoming night. And here's a slightly more painful one, but let's be honest, it's pretty common. A small purchase here, another one there. You just kept spending, and the result? 쓰다 보니 돈을 다 썼어. You used up all your money, but you never made a conscious plan to do it. But hey, it's not always negative. This pattern can show really positive, unplanned growth too. Maybe you started a new hobby that felt really hard at first, but you just kept doing it day after day, and one day you realize, wow, this feels easy now. That's 하다 보니 익숙해졌어. You just kept at it, and you got used to it. All right, you ready? It is your turn to try. Let's do a quick little check-in to make sure the core idea behind this has really clicked. Okay, listen closely to these two options. Sentence A says, I talked for 1 hour. Sentence B says, as we were talking, an hour passed. So think about it for a second. Which one, A or B, really gives you that feeling of surprise, that whoa, time flew by feeling? You got it. It's B. See, sentence A is just a fact. It's like reading a report. I talked for 1 hour. But sentence B, that one has the story. 이야기하다 보니 1시간이 지났어. It tells us that the act of talking caused you to lose track of time. That's the crucial difference. Be has the feeling. Okay, one more for you. Let's imagine you went to the store, no real plan, and you just ended up buying way too much stuff. The verb for to buy is 사다. How would you explain that oops moment using our pattern? Yes, nailed it. 사다 보니 많이 샀어. It's perfect. You took the verb stem 사, you added our magic phrase 다 보니, and then you stated the result. 많이 샀어. I bought a lot. You've got this. So, to wrap everything up, just remember these key things. You want to use 다 보니 whenever an action leads to an unplanned or surprising result. It creates that awesome connection between what you were doing and what happened because of it. It's super simple to build, just verb stem plus 다 보니. And trust me, using this is going to make your Korean sound so much more natural and expressive. So, now that you've been learning this pattern, you might even say 알고 보니 or as I came to know it. What new things will you discover? As you keep listening and studying Korean, what surprising new skills will you suddenly realize you've gained along the way?